And now we can tell the frost has definitely arrived. There's our little weeny spider webs on my rather large juniper. So it's definitely frosty this morning. This is the second morning we've had more than -3, and as part of my Bonsai Basic series, apart from explaining what it's all going to be about, I thought I'd show you what is my idea of protection. Now a lot of these are the hardier English variety trees. Not a lot of work's been done on them, you know, in the autumn, so they had a chance to do all the biz they need to do before they got ready for winter dormancy. But all those pots frozen solid now, and in truth they'll all be together, but the protection I can afford them is they're near fencing all around it, low fencing, the brick wall, and I've also actually got them direct on the soil, and normally in England that's going to be good enough. Same with down here, they don't need to move, they'll get as much protection as they need. My little trident there, all on its own, all frosted up. I've just left 2 oaks on the bench, and the only reason for that is they'll be fine in those deep pots, and again that's one of the questions. If it's in a deep pot then it's going to be a lot more resistant, but that's also stopping the panels blowing out. You know, no change here. I've got all the stuff tightly, and when I talk about buddy systems I tend to put the plants a lot closer to each other, and that's what's happening there, and they too should be fine. All the stuff that's on the railway sleepers in the railway bed, same as it was all through the year. All the junipers there, they should be okay. I certainly haven't any problems with them in previous years, but again, if you have a look, got the protection from this fencing and the hedging, and the protection from the greenhouse, and also I've got high hedging there, so that does afford a lot of protection. Going into my working area, again I'm protecting them by actually having them low down on the ground and clumped together. So all the benches are cleared. These are going to need to be replaced. So what you don't want is any circulation coming up through the base of the pot. So that's why you try and keep them down on the ground. The younger plants, they'll stay as they are, but there's protection afforded by the little wooden railing there, and being directly onto the ground. Into the greenhouse, this is where I've got everything that's either Mame size, small pots, where there's going to be a lot more problems of frosts. Obviously the stuff that I dug up a couple of days ago, down here, all the maples, got all the tridents in here, lemons, olives, some of the Chinese elms and larches that have got shallow pots. Obviously at the back there is also the air layer stuff. But yeah, it's stuff that's got more delicate, and again when you're looking at a lot of your finished bonsais where there's a lot of tertiary thin twiggy branches, they'll often do better in a green frame. I've also got the Itagawa junipers in, and Satsuki azalea, because they can have a little bit of an issue with frost tolerance. So really it's a case of, you know, either stuff you've worked on very, very late in the autumn you'd bring in here, or stuff that really doesn't like those frost temperatures. As I say, anything in really small ceramic pots I'd definitely bring in. I'll probably water maybe once a month. I'll have a look in here and see how it looks, but normally they can sit like this quite happily right through till February, even March, some of them. Down here, that's where I've got all my yews down here, and they should be quite fine there. I think we went down to -4 last night. Moving up to the terraced area, that's pretty well been cleared. Again here we've got concrete. We're also a little higher up, so they do get the winds. Juniper here, if it was less heavy I'd have tried to get it on soil, but I can't. It's the same with that silver birch, that would be nice to have moved, and the holly. But hopefully they'll be fine. Everything, as I say, everything has been moved out of the concrete areas, and what I'm trying different this year is Chinese elms. I'm actually keeping them up on the bench, but again they're buddied up, so they're all very, very close to each other. They're close to a wall, and also the thickness of the wood there should hopefully give them a degree of protection from the cold. But all of those pots are solid. No difference moving to the front. Just grouped a few of those trees right in there close. They're bigger pots, deeper, So there's a lot more tolerance in there. They're also older trees. They're in growing beds, so you know there's roots deeper in. Same with all these, like little Satsuki azaleas. I'll keep them out because I know they've bedded right into those growing beds. But nothing on the external benches. And then again, just buddying up the stuff that's here, and a lot of what's here is pretty established, so should be fairly tolerant. And as I say, we don't get massively low temperatures. It's not like we're in Canada or the cold wilds of Wisconsin. Hi, it's Xavier. I'm down the bottom of the garden, and with the frost crackling underfoot, I realised that I've done what three of these Bonsai Basics series, and I haven't really made it clear who it's for and what it's designed for. And in truth, I'm taking this as though I've never done bonsai at all, so that whoever watches it, if they follow along, then each year we can see our trees develop and grow at the same rate. So, you know, this year I've done my planting up some larches, 2-year-old saplings, and if you missed out on that, then don't worry, you can still do that in the early spring and they'll still be at a relatively the same stage, so just follow the same advice. And it's the same with the collecting. You know, you can collect, and if you didn't get to do it through because of the winter frost, again, wait, early spring, collect. And what I'll do is I'll do my new guides based on those new trees. So when I do wiring in the basic series, it'll be based on the trees that you will have been able to just get or just receive. So I'm sort of trying to get to a point where we're working alongside each other. You know, I'm not finding you a 25-year-old tree and showing you how I wire that. That'll be another stuff. But in terms of just basics, I want to make it seem like, you know, this is easy. And truthfully, it is easy. So that's what this Bonsai Basics is really about. And hopefully, through your comments or sending me in pictures, I can include your stuff at 1 year, 2 year, 3 year, at the same time my stuff is that age. Yeah, so we'll see how that goes anyway. So that's really what Bonsai Basics is all about. I'm going to pretend I don't know anything, and we'll see where we go from there. So from Xavier, down the bottom of the garden, with the frost firmly frosting the end of my rapidly diminishing hair, I'll say cheers, happy bonsai. Well, actually, I'll say happy winter. God bless. And if you haven't subscribed, then do so. This is, well, I'm 10 months now, 10 and a half months of doing this, so I'm enjoying it. I'd like to keep going. I'd love to see your support. Thanks very much.